And if you've never charged from the front of the engine, that's where the ground goes. And this is where your power outlet is. Okay, so that's on there. And we're gonna start the bleeding process. All right, so we're gonna start the self-bleeding process. Okay, so it's pretty easy. Set your system to the highest maximum heat temperature, but lowest on the fan temperature, and then basically have it on accessory mode and step on the accelerator paddle for 10 seconds. After that, it should go into the self-bleeding procedure, and your car will tell you whether the coolant's low or not, and it's starting to do that. So we'll basically top it off as necessary before we start the car. And the self-bleeding will go for anywhere from, 5 to 10 minutes. Just be patient. Just have your charger on there so you don't run out of battery. And if you do, you can just jump start it. Probably a little more. Looks like it's on the min, so I'm gonna fill it up to the max. Just looking around all the coolant hoses here, just to make sure that there's no leaks. Looking good. And if you have pockets of air, that's what's gonna constantly just cycle and bring the air back up and make sure that the system is air free. You can see that the level is going down and down and down, and you're gonna have that, but it's right near the max, so I don't think I need to fill any more. But if I do, I can certainly get there. I think it's almost done. You can tell that the level of the coolant hasn't really changed after it's cycled a couple of times. So that's pretty much telling you that all the air is getting out of the system and it is staying at the max level. I'm gonna leave this off. I'm just gonna leave it on like this so I can double check before we go on to the MHD tuning. 이거 왜 안 되지 근데? ABS start off inactive. Why? Here's what went wrong. This is what happens when we actually take our key, right, and yep. Here we go. Lighting system, basically that's saying none of the lights work. And if I go outside of the car, the low beam is on. This brake, even if I take the brake off, the handbrake off, it basically has a yellow brake sign. And you can't use the blinkers. I can't do a high beam. I can't roll down the windows. And the combination of everything that's going on, when I Google searched, it basically said, yeah, your FRM module is toast, which basically says, yeah, so my FRM module is toast. That's your footrest module that basically, I guess, controls all your little electronics, and because of the overcharge, low battery overcharge, with the charger on, it kind of fried my FRM. Now, I was thinking about getting a pre-owned FRM. That was my immediate thought, that hey, if your FRM is bad, you might as well get, you know, see if anybody's, you know, parting out their car and they have an FRM, but you're also buying a used FRM, and how reliable is that going to be? So I started doing research online. I found something really interesting. Many companies actually offer a FRM repair or refurb service. So that's what I'm going with. I'm not, you know, I don't want to have to get a new FRM or a used FRM, go through the coding process, and then have something go wrong again. That's my biggest worry. So what I'm going to do today is remove the FRM, and then I'm going to send it to one of the vendors that actually repairs this stuff. I think that is probably our best bet. And yeah, that's where we are. Car runs great, sounds great. We haven't been able to take it out on the road and do full rips on the full Botan. But I mean, fingers crossed that, you know, the work we did was, you know, by the book, torqued everything down, and we really did get everything addressed. But the FRM, now we're going to do that. So basically your FRM module, they should call it something else, like a lighting module, but the FRM module, obviously it stands for footrest module, because it is right by the footrest. It's pretty simple to remove. If you see here, you're going to see a couple of torques that you need to take out. So that's what we're going to do. You see 1, 2, and 3, and that's what we're going to get into. Yep, right here, right there, and right there. And then we're going to have access to remove this plastic piece, but we're going to have to take the handle off, the hood latch handle off. And then first we're going to have to remove this trim piece right here. Okay, fairly simple. I'm just going to pull up on it, put some gloves on and pull up on it. So basically you want to make sure you don't break this tab right here. So just kind of slide it forward, and then you're going to see clips like this. And once you get one started, just kind of go down the line where you feel the resistance. Don't break this stuff, because you sure don't want to fork over more money for your money pit of a project. And all trim is intact. We got that off. Perfect. I'm gonna rest this to the, I'm gonna put this in the back of the car. I'd used a flathead just to get in here and just kind of push it forward a little bit to help it out. I can see that I left one, but I'll remember to take this off before we reinstall. Now I'm gonna get to these guys. Okay, these are T20 bolts. Okay, one, and here's the other one. See the push tab right here, so I'm gonna pull that out. Here we go, easy. Now we're just gonna slide this forward, and you're gonna see a couple of things back here. There's gonna be the little gong. Unplug that, and this is, I don't know what this is, but we're gonna unplug this. Okay. And then whatever that guy is, that looks expensive. I don't want to go too crazy with it. And I think this just lifts right up. So let's see. So after playing around with this thing, you can see a very small tab right here. Push that and then pull up. Okay, small black tab, push in, pull up, and then this will come right off. There we go. Now to these guys in here, we have a Phillips that we're gonna use to remove that. Okay, you got one down, another one down here, the other one right here. And take this off right here. Okay, that guy. Then we're gonna actually release the rubber, and go. And make sure you release your trunk release right here. Okay, easy enough. It just kind of pulls out. Just be a little bit gentle. You don't want to be SOL without being able to open your trunk. All right, now let's look at the FRM module. There should be 3. I may loosen, actually. You can see it here. There's 1, there's 2, and then there's 3 connections here, right? 3 connections that you see. 1, 2. Oh, here's my light. So there's 3 connections. 1, 2, right? You see the gray tabs here. 1, 2, and the one right here. Okay. Before we do that, we're gonna go in the trunk and unplug the battery. And then there's 2 plastic tins, one here and one up there. I can feel it, but you won't be able to see it. So let me get it out first, and then I'll show you guys where the 10 is. I'll be right back. I'm gonna move the OBD connection out of the way so I have a little more room. Put that out of the way. Okay, so if you see here, there's a little push tab, okay, and then you can basically push up to get to it. So I'll show you how it's done. Small push tab right here. Push in, then up, and that gets unplugged. Okay, I'll hide that out of the way. Okay, and then the other 2 as well. These are going to be a little bit trickier, so what I'm going to do is actually unloosen the 10s and then get my way with, actually they're not too difficult, so let me just work on that one. Okay. Then we're going to take a 10 socket and all right, so they're plastic, and then this should, okay, so I feel it. It's not going to be easy getting in there. Okay. Okay. Holy bejesus. All right, guys. There it is. Just a lot of guessing with the plug, obviously. But it went in, it came out. I just want to be mindful which goes on top, which goes on bottom, but I think it's pretty self-explanatory because of the positions that they're in already. So I'll leave it the way it is. This one plugs in the way it is. I'm gonna snake the OBD2 and the trunk line in the car. And I'm gonna put this back because we have to send this away to one of the vendors, and we'll put the link down below. But he is by far the cheapest and the best reviews I've seen. So we'll report back on whether it was worth all that issue. I mean, it definitely is. We wouldn't be able to start we'll be able to start the car, but we won't be able to start driving this car until that FRM module is fixed. But that's it about the removing. We will show you how to put it back on, and then obviously we want to go rip in this bad boy and get this car moving. So here's the FRM module. We'll be sending this out to get rebuilt and then repaired. It's E81, E82, E88, so basically 135i specific. I'm glad I didn't get like a E91 just to see if it worked. I think this is a much better solution to actually get this repaired so that I don't have to code it or anything. But we are in good shape. So we'll take this to the mail and then send this out. All right, the time has come. We received our FRM module back from an eBay vendor named RVG Parts, and he was by far the most reasonable in terms of the price for fixing this. This is not a new unit. This is not a used unit. This is the exact unit that came out of this car, the 135i that we're working on. And sure enough, you know, the windows weren't working, lights weren't working, blinkers weren't working. It just kind of immobilized the car. You know, we couldn't take it out for a drive. And the more searches that I did online, it said FRM module. If you want to buy a new FRM module, I mean, I'm sure some people go that route. It's about 700 bucks. And I just didn't want to spend the $700 and then spend another $150, $200 to get it coated. I'm not exactly sure how much the coating is, but basically when your FRM module notices a spike in the battery, or you know, there's like a low charge of some sort, it kind of bricks this FRM module to protect it against surges or whatever. That's what I read. That's what I found out through research. But we got this for a steal of a deal. We got this fixed for a steal of a deal. And thank you so much to RVG Parts for getting that done. We'll put the link down below. They are by far the most reasonable, excellent reviews on eBay. I'm not a huge fan of going through eBay, but I think the reviews speak for itself, and we'll know after we reinstall this into the car. So let's do that. Quick. I have my battery charger on the battery right now. We're using a Genius. It's almost 75%. That should be more than plenty to start it. I just wanted to make sure that, you know, the battery was full before, and it's disconnected, by the way. It's disconnected. Once we put it back on, the charge is going to be off. There's not going to be any surge or anything like that, or low battery. That's what I'm trying to avoid. So I'm going to put this in. Okay. Motherfucker. Oh, my back. You know what? Working on anything underneath of the dash is a pain. I mean, when you change your master cylinder or your clutch pedal, brake pedal bushings, anything underneath of the dash is a real bear to do. But simple 3 plugs. You can't really mess it up. Just don't, you know, force it in there if you don't have the plastic guys kind of lined up. But it should be fairly easy. Just a little bit of agony because of the lack of space. Okay. All right. We are all set. We're gonna fire up the car. It's the only way to kind of test out if the FRM module was fixed. We're giving all this props to this guy, but we want to make sure it works. Okay, should be good. All right, here we go. Windows are working. It's a good sign. All right. Let's see if the lights, blinkers are working. I think it's a success. Big shout out to our eBay vendor, RVG Parts, for hooking us up, giving us a great price for everybody. I mean, it's not just us. We're not sponsored by them or anything, but when you find a good vendor, when you find a good resource that can do stuff like that, absolutely give them a big shout out. And that's exactly what we're doing. Man, that's a relief. I didn't want to shell out the money, and now you know. Now you know, if you have an FRM issue, make sure you hit that link down below. Don't spend that $700 to get whatever FRM module. This is a much better choice.